You don't have to advertise these. Because you see this on the shelf and you already know what the fuck is going on. They're Scooby snacks. It's Scooby's treats. He gets in each up. It's a Scoob. It doesn't get any better than this. It's from the fucking show.
Are you gay? I don't think so. Hannah's frantic.
I actually haven't seen that many dogs.
Hi, are you gay? Yep. Hi, Ollie. Are you gay? We got a yes. Are you gay? It's a very resounding yes. Are you? Oh, they're very keen. Are you gay? I think they might be pan. Hey, Biscuit, I'm wondering, are you gay? I think Biscuit's bi. Are you gay? It's quite ambivalent. Oh no. Quiet gay.
I like nice guys, but... No, you don't. And women need to stop saying this if it's not true.
Part 2 of my series, Essays I Wrote in College. Let me know if y'all want me to keep going. In creative writing class, I wrote an essay about how nice guys are like the color beige. If someone asked you to describe the color beige, what would you say? Most of us would say something like, it's brown, but not really, but it's too brown to be white. I guess it's kind of like an orangish yellow, but I'm not really sure. And think about when you use the color beige to describe something. It's usually when you either don't know or don't care what color something is. You just see something that's like vaguely between white and brown, and you decide, okay, I guess it's beige. Beige, like the term nice, is ambivalent, subjective, and undefined. And like the color beige, nice guys have no substance. Because every time they try to capitulate about why women don't like them, what do they say? They say, I'm not an asshole, I'm not a cheater, I'm not a bad guy, I'm a nice guy. That reminds me a lot of, well, it's not brown, it's not white, it's not orange, it's just beige. But see, the problem is, if you are trying to define yourself by everything you're not, as opposed to what you are, then you don't really have a definition, just a deduction. And if the only way you can characterize yourself is by being the antithesis of other people, then you don't really have a character, just a compromise and a comparison. So consider that these women are supposedly turning you down, not because you're not nice, but because that's all you are. And when she went looking for more substance, all she could find was a hollow hole colored beige.
As I already told you, we don't have access to any technology, so we don't have cell phones or anything. But whenever we want to film content, we just go to the community center and stand in front of the giraffe. Their eyes are HD cameras. So we just stand in front of the giraffe and film our content, and then when we're done, we flick its ears and the content is automatically posted to the internet. And you see the antennas on the giraffe? It's the Wi-Fi. And that's how we survive without cell phones in Africa. Yeah.
This is the reason why I watch the Super Bowl. She's a deaf performer. I'm getting chills.
This is random, but ever so often I'll be scrolling down social media and I'll come across a semi-viral photo of some random queer couple. Like this family who goes viral on Facebook like every 5 years. That little boy in college now. And there are always thousands of comments from mostly Christians saying things like, we're living in the last days, repent, God is coming. I just saw this play out like 10 minutes ago under a post about a pregnant trans man. And I want y'all to think about that for a second, just a second. This world has seen slavery, genocide, colonization, terrorism, poverty, famine, pollution, natural disasters, pandemics, epidemics, human experimentation, school shootings, serial killers, child abuse, UFO sightings, planes disappearing in thin air. And lastly, mean girls too. And after all of those atrocities, you mean to tell me God is gonna look down, see a queer and a kid and say, dang, they done finally went too far. Let me get down there.
White allies, real fast. When you see a black woman out with her silk press, her fresh blowout, I promise you, she is not trying to look more Eurocentric. 9 times out of 10, it's because she fucking felt like it. Like she just, wanted a blowout. Also, it is the middle of winter. If I wear my natural hair, it is going to take 24 hours to dry. And I don't have that time right now. And when I do me a silk press, homegirl's gonna last all month. Like this is gonna be a month of me just having to wake up, roll out the house. It's honestly easy. But I'm hearing a lot of you guys, and I know we love the Crown Act, but can we stop being like, hey, just so you know, I love your hair curly, I love your natural hair. It's like if I see you with your hair up and I'm like, I love your hair down though. Like I really love your hair down. Great, that's just not how it's looking today. Like I love my hair curly too. I really do. But right now, this is what we rocking with. So it just seems like a backhanded compliment. So just, tighten that up. Tighten that up. Love ya.
Welcome to the first episode of a series that I should have started a long time ago called Just Say You Hate Women. Save you some time. About me, Kevin. Can't hang out? Don't plan on meeting? Try and dictate anything to me, you'll instantly be blocked. I love the poetry of these men thinking that they're so alpha when in reality that is the most beta behavior ever. Like I run shit, and if you try to challenge me, I'm gonna block you. We as men built the world you exist inside of. I'm calling the shots. Just let him have that one. It's the only thing he will ever exist inside of. My name is Kevin. That's all we know at this point. 6 feet tall. I'm very masculine. Okay. And don't tolerate anything except deep femininity from a woman. Comply or goodbye. Kevy, do you mind if I call you that? That one's really pretty at the end there. Makes sense that you work in steel because you have stolen my heart. Also, just above all of this, I really want to know what he thinks being deeply feminine is. Because if I were to judge his capacity to actually define any sort of gender stereotype anything based on how he thinks of masculinity, what's wrong? What is it?
How I love being a woman.
True that I saw her hair.
Every day, the US barrels closer and closer to fascism, and queer communities experience an increasing amount of violence as well as institutional erasure. I am a firm believer in the idea that leftist communities need to own and familiarize themselves with firearms. I'm not saying that I want everyone to buy a firearm. They are dangerous, especially for those with mental health issues, and unless you are properly trained, you are more likely to accidentally hurt yourself or a loved one than protect yourself in a home invasion. However, communities need access to the tools necessary to defend one another. If you believe that it is necessary to own a firearm, you have the right to protect yourself. If these fascists insist on being dangerous, queer communities need to be dangerous too. Because right now, they have the firearms. And they know how to use them. We don't. If shit ever hits the fan, that is going to be a problem. In my bio, there's a link for some resources under the Sources tab. It's not much, but it's something. Stay safe and stay dangerous.
Beautiful
wonderful job by the Chainbreakers Pep Band. Thank you. It was brought to my attention by the president of the European American Student Organization that it is History Day. What was that? It's what? History Month? Are you sure? I don't think there's enough European American history to sustain a month. Anyway, to celebrate this historic day, we'll be watching the last 45 minutes of the European American film Titanic. And we have another special treat for you. Our gym teacher, Mrs. Jones, will be demonstrating the European tribal dance called the waltz. Yes, that's what I said. The waltz. The waltz. The wow. Anyway, give it up for Miss Jones. Thank you, Principal Matthews, and happy White History Day. I'm going to be demonstrating the waltz. I have on my traditional powdered wig, which is from Europe, and a European tribal print shirt. Both of these are traditional to wear when you're doing a waltz.
Here is one of the oldest audios of our ancestors singing.
Did y'all realize we can't save all our people?
I just witnessed multiple men of my community argue that this is a bad photo because it appears that Rihanna is leading the family, thus emasculating A$AP Rocky.
Police officers fit the definition of gang members, and I do not mean this hyperbolically. Let's take a look at the US federal definition of the word gang. An association of 3 or more individuals, of which members adopt a group identity used to manufacture fear or intimidation, often through group names, tattoos, slogans, clothing, etc. These groups also use violence or intimidation to further their criminal objectives. How about rampant and needless police brutality and the ability to murder with impunity paired with heavy militarization, for examples? Members of these groups engage in criminal activity with intent to enhance the association's power, reputation, and economic resources. Remember in 2020 how law enforcement reacted to the public calling for accountability and defunding? Here's some bonus points. They require rules for joining the association, provide members with protections from others, seek to exercise control over a particular geographic location or region, and have an identifiable structure. Law enforcement is a collection of government-approved gangs who are allowed to terrorize civilians so long as they protect the property and establishment of the ruling class.
This is just your friendly reminder that if you think that people self-diagnosing or faking autism is taking away resources from actually autistic people, you're already overestimating the amount of resources there are for actually autistic people.
Because when the sunshine will shine together, told you I'd be here forever. Said I'll always be your friend. Took a note, take it on till the end. Now that it's raining forever, know that we still have each other. You can stand under my umbrella. You can stand under my umbrella.
All my life, I've had teachers come up to me or come up to my mom and say, she's not listening, she's being rude. And every time we asked why, the teachers would be like, oh, she's not paying attention, she's not responding, she's not doing the homework we announced. Congratulations, you might be onto something.
Did you know the Yin Yang twins are not twins? or brothers, or related at all for that matter? Did you know that they both bonded over the physical disabilities they both have? I bet you didn't. Hi, I'm Fatu. I love the early 2000s. So for Black History Month, I'm doing a series called Fatu 2000s where I talk about my favorite Black artists, groups, and moments from the early 2000s. And today we're going to be talking about the iconic Ying Yang Twins. So let's get into it. I got you. So the two members of the Ying Yang Twins are Kane and D-Rock. And D-Rock's real name is D'Angelo and Kane's real name is Eric. They're both from Atlanta and they're both making music at this time. So D-Rock and Kane meet each other and they bond over their love of making music and writing music, and also bond over their disabilities. If you did not know, D-Rock was born with an underdeveloped hand and Kane was born with cerebral palsy that gave him a limp when he walked. And they bonded over the disabilities they both had and how it affected them, and they put that into their music. So they're making music together and they're talking about like a lot of deep topics. So then they end up meeting Mr. Collie Park, who's a huge record producer in Atlanta and also has his own label. And he tells them, okay, deep topics are great, but we got to start talking about some ass shaking. Talk about some ass shaking over some good beats. And so they did. And they dropped their first album, Thug Walkin', which brings out their first big single, Whistle While You Twerk, which I feel like blasts the word twerk into the American lexicon. Again, white people didn't discover that word till like 15 years later, but the Black people been new. And then in 2002, they dropped their second album, and that album has Say I, which, ooh, when that song would play at the parties. And then they also had the song Twerkulator. But then I feel like things really started to shift for them in 2003. 2003 is a huge year for the Ying Yang Twins. They are featured on a Britney Spears song, I Got That Boom Boom, on her album In the Zone. Love that album and that song. And they dropped their third album, Me and My Brother. And on Me and My Brother, they have the iconic Salt Shaker. There is no ass shaking song like Salt Shaker. And of course, Naggin' and What's Happening with Trick Daddy. And then they were featured on a little song, don't know if you've ever heard of it, with Lil Jon called Get Low. Salt Shaker made it to the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100 and Get Low was number 2. And I'm sorry, but there will never be a song like Get Low. When I hear the beginning of Get Low, when I hear the chorus from the window to the wall to the sweat drop down my what? No. And they keep it going. Ying Yang Twins are churning out hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. And then in 2005, they dropped their fifth album called USA, United States of Atlanta. And at this time, this was the height of Atlanta music. We're talking about Ying Yang Twins, Sierra, Usher, Lil Jon, East Side Boys like Ludacris, all of these people. Then the Ying Yang Twins get a little sexy on us. They dropped the song Wait, the Whisper song, which chef's kiss. They also dropped Bad with Mike Jones, I Need a Dime. That's top of the line, cute face, slim waist with a big behind, that one. And they also dropped a song called Bad with a young man named Pitbull. And then of course in 2006, we can't forget their feature on Miss New Booty. But then, of course, times changed, music changed, and crunk music kind of fell out of popularity. But I just want to say there will never be a group like the Ying Yang Twins. The Ying Yang Twins put their stamp on Black music history, and I just want to say history in general, because they were just making pure fun music. The music was only for enjoyment. We were talking club music, house party music, barbecue music, ass-shaking music, strip club music. The music was just fun. I miss that era, and I wish the Ying Yang Twins the best. And I'm honestly probably sure they're at one of these like lovers and friends type festivals. So if you're there, I hope you catch them. But anyway, that's it. Like and follow for more of these kinds of videos. Thank you. Did you know that they both bonded over the physical disabilities they both have? I bet you didn't.
When you really think about it, Black history and disability history go together like this, whether people want to recognize it or not. Go back and watch that entire video. It was excellent.
Stop calling me a hater for making fun of racists. Yeah, I hate racism. Why, do you like racism? Huh? Ooh, you like racism? Ooh, if you like racism so much, why don't you marry her?
Shit like this brings the movement down. Everyone's a feminist until there is a spider around.